Hello everyone, it's Kavita from Red Door Yoga. Thank you for joining me online for the Red Door Yoga Mini Sutra series. Today I wanted to talk about stepping up to your values. So what we've talked about in the past is the idea that all of us have values. My values will be different from your values, will be different from the next person's values. We value things in life, and I don't mean physical objects, I mean ideals, as it were, right? So one of the things that I value is I value nobility, I value evolution, so personal evolution, becoming a better person, becoming a more evolved person, becoming a more full version of who I can be. I also value personal creativity. Okay, so those are three things that I value right off the bat. When we look at our values drive everything that we do in life. They drive how we feel about any experience that we have. And when we bump up against things that push against those values one way or the other, we will experience emotions. So each emotion has different messages for us based on what they're saying to us about the value that we're carrying. So today I kind of wanted to talk about the idea of stepping up to your values. Later on, I'll come on and do some mini sutras and talk a little bit more about the different emotions that we have arise when they push up against those values. But for now, let's start with the idea that you have values. You value certain things. They are important to you. They will drive every experience that you have, and they will drive how you feel about every experience that you have. And so with that in mind, it's important to be clear about what your values are. You have them, you need to know what they are. And they are specific to you, okay? And then after becoming really clear about your values, you need to be aware of when you are not stepping up to them. You need to be aware of when you are kind of turning a blind eye to them. Because even if you are not consciously aware that you're doing it, you will be subconsciously aware that you're doing it, and that will bring up different emotions like anger, like guilt, things like that. If you're not stepping up, there will be a lack of fulfillment in your life if you don't step up to your values. Okay. One of the examples that I will use is a painting that I had been working on a while back. Some of you know that I'm actually an officially licensed Star Trek artist with CBS, on top of being a yoga teacher. It's something as well that I do, and I'm very passionate about. So I was working on a particular piece that had two characters. If you're not familiar with Star Trek, it won't make a lot of difference to you as to who the characters are. But for those of you who are Trekkies, it was Kirk and Spock from the original series, and it was based on the piece of the action, that episode. So one of the characters, that would be Kirk, William Shatner, his features can be a little bit tricky to really kind of pin down, and it's because he light tends to hit him differently. He's got softer features, and so depending on the lighting, his shapes can morph a bit. Some people say that at times in some photos he doesn't even quite look like himself, and it's because he's got a very changeable face. And so I was doing this painting, and I would put up photos of my progress that I was making in my pieces on my Retrospect Studios website, on the Facebook page rather. And as I was putting up photos of it, fans were very positive in their responses to it. They thought I was doing a good job. They were very happy with what they were seeing. But what I noticed was that I wasn't quite there with it yet. Like, I would look at it and go, something's not right. Something's not right. Now, if I allowed my ego to push me, the ego is the thing that's going to look to being valued by the external world. It would have been easy for me to say, well, my fans like the piece, therefore it's good enough, right? And time to move on. But what I did instead was I looked in at the emotions that I was starting to notice within me. And what I realized was there was a sense of dissatisfaction. There was a sense of unfulfillment or lack of fulfillment. And what that said to me was that I wasn't hitting my standards. That I had a standard that I carried within me. I had a value that I held dear to me, and that I wasn't quite meeting that yet. And my value is, again, remember, I want to be an evolved human being. I want to be a noble human being. I want to be a human being that strives to be the best version of herself that she can be. And therein was the issue. Therein was why I was unfulfilled. It was because I knew that if I walked away from the likeness at this stage, that I would know internally that I had not actually gone to the edge of my capability. I had not done the best job that I could do. I could do better. Okay, I would have known that. And again, even if I hadn't known it consciously, I would have known that inside, that on that unconscious level, that I had not actually done my best. And so when I saw that, I actually put my ego aside. I was thrilled that my fans liked the piece at that point, but I put it aside and I made a very concrete decision that I was going to keep working on this character, on this painting, until it had reached my standard, until I had gotten to the place where I thought, I've done the best that I can with this character, with this likeness. And the moment I made that decision, the moment I became consciously in control of my path that way with this piece, I was immediately fulfilled. And it didn't mean that I was immediately fulfilled, so it's time to move on. I actually had to make good on the decision I'd made, but there was immediate peace with that decision because I was immediately back in line with my value system. I had stepped up. I had decided to step up to my values, okay? And so I want you guys to be very aware of this. I want you to take the time to really investigate yourself and see, what is it that you value? What do you value? What drives you in everything in life? And then when you are going through your life's experiences, if you notice that you are not feeling a sense of fulfillment, I want you to then notice how you are not stepping up to your values in that moment, okay? And then make a conscious choice to step up to the values that you carry. And it's not values that other people carry. It's values that you carry. You are the one who will dictate the fulfillment in your life. But you've got to acknowledge it and you've got to step up to it. All right? I hope that was helpful, everyone. And if you have questions, please do put them in the comment section. Please do like the video. Please do share the video with others. We very much appreciate when you share the videos with others because it allows us to get yoga philosophy out to a wider community, okay, across the world. Thank you very much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you again online very, very soon. Namaste.